I had different options, but I felt like Tampa was probably the worst team of the bunch, and I felt like I could crack that lineup. So other teams were more established teams with deeper lineup that I thought, I'd be just a depth guy. And I was looking through that lineup of the Lightning, and it just felt like almost like an American League lineup. And I'm like, perfect, because in the American League, I've put points my whole life. So I'm just going to go to camp. I'm going to pretend I'm in the American League. And I go to camp, and in the scrimmages, I'm just lighting it up. Like I'm playing really well. But then the exhibition games start, and I'm on the fourth line.
Oh, no, here we go again.
Yeah. I'm like, how do I not get – did I not score enough goal in the scrimmages? And I test well. Like, I always took care of my, the physical stuff. And anyway, so I could see, like, the writings on the wall, It's like, I'm sure, like, you go through training camp, but they already have you slotted in certain things, and that was frustrating for me. And the season started. I was on the fourth line. I played a minute 51. It's funny, actually. I got.
What do you have, the game sheet?
Yeah, I keep the game sheet here. Minute 41.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, those of you watching on YouTube, there it is.
141.
You focused on quality, not quantity that night.
Yeah.
Who was on your line?
Steve Martins.
Oh, my teammate.
Yeah. 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 So the first, I don't know, 15, 20 games, I'm in and out of the lineup, play like very limited, and I finally go up to Steve Ludzig, and I'm like, Ludzig, I just want you to know I can play on your top three lines and help your team, and I don't care what you do from there, but I want you to know that I think that. And he said, okay. And he didn't give it to me right away, but something switched for me because I've always I had enough. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I had enough of, I always feel like if you settle for crap, you get crap, you know? So I had enough, and I just changed my thinking. I always took care of the team, but the team was not taking care of me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to take care of myself. So I changed the way I was playing a little bit. I used to chip a lot of pucks in, and they want to turn the puck over. And, it was, it's a much different game now. Like, people are encouraged to make play. Like, we weren't that encouraged to make play. It was a mentality of try not to lose, So I remember I scored my first goal shorthanded. I think it was the 20th game of the season. It was my first goal, And so the first 20 game, I had maybe 2 points. And the next 20 games, I had 15 points. And I would start the game on the fourth line, but work my way up to the second and third line. And then at practice, I'd be back in the yellow jersey on the fourth line. And the game start, we weren't winning many games. I'd work my way up the lineup. And I finally asked Torts, who was the assistant coach, I said, Torts, why do I always show up at practice as a fourth line player when, I finished the games on the second line? Like, he's like, let me see what I can do. I think I think Torts appreciated my work ethic and the way I dealt with things. Like, I wasn't a rah-rah guy, like I'm getting screwed. I felt like I was earning opportunities and deserved better. And I was, looking for help. Need somebody to, to give me, to put me on that pedestal a little bit where I felt some of the players were. Torch took over halfway through the year when Leslie got fired, and I ended up scoring 18 that year, and really was in 60 games because I didn't really play the first 20 games. So I felt in my mind that I was a 20 goal scorer. Like I was like, all right, I'm a 20 goal scorer. Like, this is good. And before I left in my exit meeting, Torch told me, hey, if you take care of yourself this summer, I'm going to give you a chance in the top 6 next year. And that's the first time that a coach was telling me, I think you can play, and I think you can play in the top six. Like, I think you're a good player. And that just like fueled me. Like, I finally like had somebody at that level that could really help my outcome. Was telling me that he's going to do that for me. I just got to take care of myself. So I went to work. You know, not that I wasn't going to work, but now I felt like I was really working for something. And I had, you know, I had Brad Richards and Vinny LeCavalier at center. So I didn't know who I was going to play with, but I was going to play with one of those two guys, which, you know, they were very good hockey player. So, you know, I came back the next year, and that's when I kind of took off, you know. But that year in 02, 01, 02, I broke my fibula in January and missed the rest of the year. And, you know, but they still signed me to a 2-year deal after that. And it was definitely gradual for me, Trip. But once I got the opportunity, I just ran with it and never looked back.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just this, I felt like I just became like a, you know, I was creating almost a monster that just like was like just getting stronger and stronger. And like, and, you know, there was nobody was going to get my way at that point.